Welcome to this demonstration of ProjectFlux, our approach to next-generation cloud-based developer tooling. Today in this demo, I would like to focus on our first story, which is about connecting the desktop IDE to the cloud-based era of developer tooling. Therefore, I start with an existing desktop IDE, and I assume in this case it's Eclipse, and our goal with ProjectFlux is to allow you to use cloud-based tooling together with your existing desktop IDEs, because we think that today's cloud-based tooling is not yet feature-rich enough to give you full control and all the abilities you would like to have. Therefore, we think that desktop IDEs will continue to be the tool of choice for certain tasks. And especially today, if you have all your projects in the desktop IDE, you do not want to throw them away, throw everything away on your local machine and use a cloud-based, browser-based UI only, maybe. So therefore, we allow you to continue to use your desktop IDE. In this case, it's a Spring Tool Suite, but you can imagine using plain Eclipse, IntelliJ, whatever. And I have a project in my workspace. What I can do now with ProjectFlux is I can connect my workspace to my project to Flux. In this case, everything stays local on my machine, so no files are going away, nothing is being accessed remotely when I work with Eclipse or something like that. I can continue to work on my project using Eclipse. But in addition to that, all the content, all the resources of my project, they are synced to the cloud. And with this syncing mechanism that is part of ProjectFlux, you can now access your projects from the web. Therefore, I open a web browser and I go to my demo installation, which is running on Cloud Foundry of Flux. And there is my project. This is an Eclipse Orion based installation running on Cloud Foundry. I have my project here. I can open up files in my project and I can, of course, edit them. So in this case, I get some nice syntax highlighting. In this case, it's a Java file. So I get some nice syntax highlighting for Java. And you already see that there's a tiny little warning showing up here, which looks familiar from an existing desktop IDE. This local variable is not used. What you can do now in this web-based IDE, which you can access from any device and from anywhere in the world, it's not just allowing you to edit your file, it also provides some additional features like real Java reconciling errors and warnings in the same sense, in the same style that you're familiar with from your desktop IDE, right? So if I start typing, I get real errors, warnings showing up while I'm typing in real time, and those warnings and errors are exactly the same as in your local desktop IDE, right? This is great. So this gives me a feeling of working with a tool that understands the language, and not only the syntax, but also the real language semantics behind the language, can give me real good errors and warnings along the way, like this variable is, for example, not used. In addition to this real-time information about the class, about this file, I also get content assist, and this is real content assist for Java, right? So if I go here, I get real content assist, for example, for this date type. Right? This is not fake. This is not re-implemented in JavaScript in the browser doing some kind of fake analysis of your local file. This is real full content assist for Java, which you can see here, right? If I do this, I get real content assist. I get real good Java content assist for working with the Java file, which is great, right? In addition to that, there's also kind of jump to declaration, so I can jump to date. I could even do rename in file. It's not yet fully implemented, but we are working on that. And I can also jump to another file in this example. So this is implementing my interface. So let me quickly open up another browser tab for my interface. So this is being opened up here. This is my interface, and I changed this here. So let me add a method called foo. save the file, and I would expect that there is now an error showing up in my home controller, which is indeed because there's full language tooling running behind the scenes in the cloud for my project that knows how to deal with Java projects. In this case, it is producing an error on the other browser tab saying, "Hey, this must implement this new method," right? Interestingly, I said that I do not want to leave everything behind. I said that my files are synced with my desktop IDE, so I would expect that this error and the change interface is showing up in my desktop IDE as well. So when I quit the browser now, I go back to my desktop IDE, I see, oh, there's kind of exactly the same stuff going on, right? The interface has changed, and the home controller class is showing me the same error. Luckily, my desktop IDE provides me quick fixes for this, so I can quickly add the unimplemented method here. And I haven't saved anything, it's just it changed the file, and if I go back to the browser, I see this file is changed here as well. So ProjectFlux gives you the feeling and allows you to work on your projects from your desktop IDE as well as from the browser without really experiencing and seeing a difference in what you're working on, right? It's a little bit like Google Docs, right? You're accessing the same stuff from all over the place, and it feels like you're simultaneously editing all those things. In this case, you might be able to see that here that it is indeed really lively editing the files. If I delete that here in my browser, it gets deleted in my desktop editor as well. This allows you and gives you the possibility to work on your projects from your desktop IDE and from the browser from anywhere in the world. You can switch forth and back between these two worlds, between the cloud-based tooling and your existing desktop IDE. So you do not have to throw everything away just because you're now starting to use a browser-based development environment. Technically, which is interesting, is that the architecture behind Flux is running on a cloud. In this case, it's running on Cloud Foundry, and all this language tooling is not really implemented as part of these editor component or as part of Orion, of the Orion client UI running as JavaScript inside my browser. It is implemented as a service, as a small, tiny microservice that is running on Cloud Foundry somewhere, maybe even in a different data center, somewhere in the cloud, somewhere else. In this case, it's also running on Cloud Foundry, and this tiny little microservice that is running in the cloud keeps track of my changes and can do stuff for me. In this case, can do stuff for Java files, and reports those errors and warnings back to me. This shows what we think might be an interesting and very compelling new architecture for cloud-based development tooling, building microservices that are running inside the cloud and giving me a real-time feedback like content assist, errors, warnings, navigation, refactoring support, quick fix support, all the awesome language tooling from your desktop IDE, but running as a headless service inside a cloud and being accessible and visible from a browser-based editor like this. So this gives you a brief overview about what we're working on in ProjectFlux for these kind of syncing projects between the desktop IDE and cloud-based environment, while allowing headless language services or headless services inside the cloud doing stuff for me. And those services, they can do more stuff like deploying my application. They could store a backup of my project somewhere, and so on. So thousands of new possibilities, so thousands of new options coming up when we continue to think about this new architecture of ProjectFlux. This gives you a brief overview. Thanks for watching, and see you back soon. Thanks.